Welcome to the Mucked Up My Self-Care podcast.
I'm Jill from New York.
And I'm Linda from Tasmania.
We are two moms from opposite sides of the world who are living, demonstrating, and helping moms across the world build their self-care asset bank.
Ready to dive in? Messy, interrupted, imperfect, and most of all mucked up. Let's get going. Here we are. We made it.
Hi.
Massive week. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, big week. Oh my goodness.
Just off the back of the summit.
Yeah.
Rest for at least a second before the next installment or board meeting or next.
Everything. It's
Everything. Revolving door.
busy end of quarter stuff. Lots of mucking up.
Lots of mucking up. So much mucking up.
Hi.
Hi. Declan, have you got highs and lows?
Declan, what was your favorite thing about today? Church? Good.
And I see the bed is.
I don't know. Anyway. Highs and lows. Let's see. Declan, we had church yesterday, which was a lot of fun in the rain. We had torrential downpour, which closed roads and flooding and all kinds of adventures on our end trying to travel. So that was a good high and low, I guess. I don't even know. But it was a good weekend coming off of our summit with my sexy business team, which had a lot of melty around it for both the high and low. To have such a great experience as a featured speaker and running the event, and then all the emotion that came after and just trying to decompress and debrief it all. But yeah, what about you, Linda?
Yeah, highs was definitely the summit. I ended up talking about oranges for some reason.
There are good analogies that you used to make sense.
At the same time, though, I had like poo in a nappy 5 minutes before, and just the whole frazzlement of trying to, talk behind your hand when kids are in the room at the same time. They're not settling very easily for sleep right now, so I can hear them outside the door. Josh just tried to come in and talk to me about graphics card and Intel motherboards and USBs and all the computer upgrade software stuff, because he's just been given some computers to pull apart. At the same time, it's just halfway through school holidays and so close with the book stuff. You never know, it might be almost out by the time we get to this episode.
Oh my goodness, that would be
Can
so
you hear the
cool.
giggling in the background as well?
Why?
Yeah. And it's just so many things around me that just seem to be getting they're sort of intertwining, but they're also sort of barraging against each other sometimes. Like, I just want some time for myself. I just want to drink a cup of tea or coffee or water for a few minutes by myself without somebody needing me or just being loud. For instance, I just want a few minutes of quiet to drink that, few mouthfuls at least, not even a whole cup. Just
to get
there's so much noise. There is
Yeah.
so much noise. It's just really loud, and it's worse when I'm tired, of course, or overwhelmed, or busy, or just generally all the stuff. Yep.
Yeah. When do we get that time to sit down and take that little bit of a break? Oh my gosh. Which I guess kind of leads us into what we were going to talk about today.
It does. Funny that.
Yeah.
I just knocked on the wall and was like, "That's enough. Come on, boys." They know I'm busy. They know I'm busy right now. Just crazy.
How are things around us being affected by our mucked up self-care, Linda?
I know that as I just mentioned, when I don't make that time for myself, I can definitely, I was going to say definitely parent less. No, I
Yeah.
I actually feel like I have to parent more if I'm not got that level head sort of thing happening, or if I know that my needs are so very, very sacrificed. That's where a lot of that anger can come from, or frustration, or just generally feeling really crap, because if we're not feeling that, at least a dribble into the self-care cup, it's really hard to then look at all of the people around us who have all their needs, and some of those needs they can't meet themselves. Sometimes they can, sometimes they can't, but generally, if I'm not on top of it, it's a different atmosphere. It's a different approach. What about you?
I find it that I still don't understand this connection that we have with our children and how our energy like feeds off of one another. And I can clearly tell when I have not taken the time to fill my cup, to do any kind of breathing or just stepping away, allowing myself to take a break, that he is affected by it. And he then comes back at me with my own attitude until I check myself and I take that break, or I
try that times 4.
Like, yeah, I have to do that because then he becomes a different person. Tuck it in.
Yep, absolutely. And we're both going to press mute a lot in this episode, I think, because we're trying to
potty training. Oh my God.
Both of us, like, as soon as we talking, we mute. Then we mute again, and we're like talking behind our hand, trying to say, "What again? Get in the bed, for God's sake!" I'm at the end of my patience line today.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
and so we're going to be like very much feeling how we're feeling in this topic today.
Because they are directly affected by our mucked up ways, and they also need to see us mucking up at the same time. That's not what I'm trying to,
right.
to
we're
say.
Not trying to show perfection, and that's how we have to take care of ourselves. They need to see that we can notice that something is off and then make the adjustment to make the situation better for ourselves without continuing to dig a bigger hole or keep up with the attitude where it just ends up ruining everybody's day. Even though that happens most times anyway.
It's like a snowball. Just Do
you find that when you end up in that kind of a situation, though, where you're not taking care of yourself, you find that you're in this mood or this groove of not being you really, that you tend to focus on menial tasks then and overdo it, making it then even more escalated.
Yep. So for me, it'll be housework, where I feel like I have to do a bit of the martyr and really get stuck into cleaning off that grouch in the bathroom when really it really doesn't need to be done yet. Or I'll start cleaning windows of tiny little fingerprints that haven't been there that long, or I'll just get really
what is it, the rage vacuuming that we want to talk about?
The rage vacuum. Because what I really probably want to do or need to do in that moment is to sit down and podcast, or sit down and write some of my book, or sit down and talk to friends, or get stuck into some really great work. However, my concentration has zapped. So really the best thing I think or feel like, and it's complete fallacy, the best thing I think I can do is to housework, because it doesn't require a heap of brain power, but at the same time it's something that I can do physically, to move, to shift, to diffuse. But it's a loop, it's a awful trap.
Yeah, and it's the wrong kind of productivity. Keep saying
It's
things
not helpful.
like yes, you're being productive, but it's not in the right places or the right energy that's being put into it. You could be so much more productive if you actually took your rest. When 20-minute cat nap, like power nap, isn't that all we need? Like to get that little bit of reset, get our bandwidth back on track, and then we can be even more productive in the right way. But we end up taking on that responsibility of things that are completely out of our control and obsessing over it, because we think that that's going to get us the boost that we need if we just accomplish things.
Yeah. And at the same time, we're scrubbing the floor or the kitchen sink, we see the dust on top of the kitchen fridge, or we decide to clean the top of the door frames, or everything else that we normally would not maybe see in 10 minutes ago. We then feel like we then have to take more onto our shoulders and more onto what is already happening as probably part of the guilt, as probably part of the neglect, as probably part of the, well, fine, if I can't meet my own needs, I'll try and at least deal with my anxiety externally. Rather than internally.
And the guilt is so hard, because we're like, well, maybe then if I can just get this done, I'll feel better and I can go get work on this now, or maybe it'll boost my mood, or and then we get ourselves into a mood where we don't want to do anything.
And then we scroll or binge
obsessively
watch,
avoid. And then the guilt is just layered on top of that.
And I can sit here and say this and sit here and know this in my brain, yet the same pattern keeps repeating over and over and over, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times, and I don't seem to really be able to break it that easily, because I feel like I do have to take everything on and more and more and more, when all I'm doing is meeting everyone else's needs and not myself.
And where are we getting the help from?
Jack Diddley, squeak, squish.
God bless you. There you go. I don't even know. The help's not there, or it is there and we don't want to take it because we feel guilty. And like, well, I should have been doing this, or I could have done it, or I will get to it. And it's and
the whole inner child thing comes out. It's like me basically having a tantrum and going, well, fine then. My needs won't matter. Fine. I'll just do everybody else's. Fine then. It's literally me having a huge temper tantrum, stomping my feet, stomping feet, rolling the eyes like 600 times in a row, crossing the arms and being like, well, fine. Have it your way.
I think my tantrums are worse than my son. And I'm like, only realizing now that I'm throwing a tantrum, and I'm like, what am I doing?
I think mine can be worse than all four of my kids combined. Like, seriously. And we have almost 3 and 3-year-olds now. Like, they're right up there. They're pretty bad.
They are, because I think last night we came home and I threw a tantrum, and my husband's like, what is going on? And then I had to like take a breath. I looked at my calendar. I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. Guess who's coming this week?
Which we talked all about in that was only a few episodes ago, right? In
Yeah.
episode 23.
Yeah. So here we are.
About hormones, and here we are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on.
They're like our friend. not friend. Yeah. Absolutely. And I do wonder as well, like, how many other people are in this similar situation where things are feeling like they've been really affected by our energy or our mood or our tantrums or our housework or all of those things, our sleep as well. So sleep's another huge thing. If we're not getting enough sleep with a baby in the background or just by general anxiety or worries or et cetera, or staying up too late to do the dishes, or what a huge number of things, some of which are actually a little bit out of our control or feel like they're out of our control. We could have chosen to go to bed instead of doing the dishes, but we felt like we had to do the dishes because we're taking it all on because our needs aren't met, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
yeah, it's setting ourselves up for a date the next day is really where the self-care comes in. So it's, are you helping yourself out by staying up later to do the dishes so you don't have to do them in the morning? But are you staying asleep in the morning because you set yourself up for good sleep before you even got to sleep? So it's like the chicken or the egg. Which one do you do to get that good sleep, which will then set your day up for you to have a good day, potentially? So where do you go with
is there any guarantee that kids will let you have the sleep in anyway, or don't wake up just as you're doing the dishes, in my case as well? So how is that? Is there an A-B sort of answer, or is it dependent on the day, the day we've got ahead the next day? Maybe it's a really busy one, so we do like to feel like we're off on the right foot by having the dishes done.
Yeah,
I've actually got the dishes done right now, only because I probably it is sort of good in a way, but a lot of it's been in a state of, well, fine then.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually feel that good now to have the dishes done. I'm like,
gotcha.
But all of the other stuff that went in.
What was the cost of doing it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's too much. Wow. I wonder if now's a good time to go take some more self-care time for each of us, Linda.
I think it might be. You're about to start your day. Are your dishes done?
Yeah, I gotta go get my dishes done. It's a clubhouse conversation.
I've got to put the dishwasher on. I thought I'd wait till we recorded first to do that.
Good. Yeah.
Also got to try and get 2 kids settled for sleep.
And I gotta get mine off to the babysitter. So fun stuff. Well, then Linda.
Until next week.
We hope you can unstuck your muck.
Here we are. Bye.
Bye-bye.